In the quiet, pre-dawn hours of Passover week in Jerusalem, a hustle of activity began to stir under a veil of secrecy and religious fervor. The city was a tapestry of devotion and conflict, and the air carried the charged anticipation of events yet to unfold. In the dimly lit corridors of a local high priest's chamber, a man named Judas Iscariot paced nervously, the weight of his previous night's agreement heavy upon him. The silver coins he had received for his betrayal of Jesus jingled familiarly in his pocket, yet felt unfamiliar in their presence. The trial of Jesus had begun, hastily conceived and fraught with the biases and fears of those who held power. Before the public and within the courts of Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, Jesus stood with a calm demeanor, even as accusations of blasphemy and insurrection flew around him. Pilate, a man caught between navigating turbulence among the Jewish leaders and maintaining peace in Jerusalem as required by Rome, found himself unnerved by the composed presence of this man standing accused. Despite Pilate's initial instincts to release Jesus, the weight of public pressure mounted. Cry out as they may for crucifixion, Pilate's repeated appeals seemed futile. Succumbing to the cacophony of demands and washing his hands as a token of disassociating himself from the judgment, Pilate relented, and thus, the destiny of Jesus was sealed. Soldiers led Jesus away, and the finality of what was to come settled in. Imprisoned and scourged, he was utterly human in his suffering, a crown of thorns pressed forcefully onto his brow, ridiculed as King of the Jews. As the procession toward Golgotha commenced, Jesus bore the cross upon his shoulders. The path was laden with encounters. Women wept for him, his followers, stunned and heartbroken, trailed behind them, and strangers gazed, some with pity, some with contempt. At a point of exhaustion, Simon of Cyrene was compelled to carry the cross for the beleaguered Jesus, a simple act of humanity amidst the violence surrounding the scene. Upon reaching the place of the skull, Golgotha, a scene unfolded that would echo through millennia. The soldiers drove nails through his hands and feet and hoisted the cross. Around Jesus were two criminals sharing in the grim fate of Roman crucifixion. Crowds gathered, some in mockery, others in sorrow, witnessing the agonizing hours of his hanging. Yet amidst this torment, Jesus spoke words not of anger but of forgiveness, asking, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do." He offered salvation to one of his fellow sufferers, a criminal who acknowledged him and his kingdom. The sky darkened at midday, an ominous shroud over the land. Jesus, in a profound testament of endurance and love, cried out, "It is finished." And then in his final moments, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." As Jesus breathed his last, the ground shook, rocks split, and the temple curtain tore from top to bottom, a powerful symbol marking a new covenant between God and humanity. Joseph of Arimathea, a man of prominence and a secret disciple, sought Pilate for permission to claim Jesus' body. With Nicodemus, who had previously sought Jesus under the cover of night, Joseph carefully took Jesus down from the cross, wrapped him in linen, and laid him in a tomb. Beyond the tragedy of this day, beyond the profound darkness that seemed to have triumphed, the dawning realization began to stir among Jesus' followers that this was not the end, but a fulfillment and a beginning. An anticipation loomed. The resurrection, yet unrevealed, would soon testify to a love and hope enduring beyond the confines of life and death itself.